Hi guys, it's the girl MJ. Welcome back to JONZ News, your news provider. Man sentenced to 12 years for murder of US citizen. Please remember to subscribe, share, like, and leave a comment. Okay guys, so once again the justice system has failed. But before I go into that, let me give you a backstory. So 22-year-old Solomon Walker, the man accused of killing an American in March 2020, was sentenced to 13 years in prison when he appeared in the St. James Circuit Court on Friday, May 20. Walker, who is also known as Shortman, had been named as the main suspect in the year-old murder case of 65-year-old Theodore Walling, who was found dead in Montego Bay, St. James in March 2020. Now, Walker had been on the run for more than a year, and he was nabbed on May 14, 2021 in Rocky Point, Clarendon, while attempting to flee to Haiti by boat. Prior to that, the police had featured him on the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Wanted Wednesdays campaign. Now, after his capture, Walker was formally charged with murder and robbery with aggravation. However, he pleaded guilty to the lesser charges of manslaughter and the simple larceny. Walker has now been sentenced to 12 years on the charge of manslaughter and 1 year for the charge of simple larceny. The sentences will run concurrently. Now, this 22-year-old boy killed the American, and all that he has gotten is 12 years in prison. So you want to tell me that's the value of the man's life? 12 years? 22 years old. So by the time he come out, him at 34, which means there's no much damaging can come out can do again. So this young man was first charged with murder, and then he pleaded to a lesser charge of manslaughter. I don't know they ended up with that charge. Now, a lot of people say that he has beaten the system, but he has not really beaten the system. The system has failed. According to Jamaica's sentencing guidelines, a person that is charged with manslaughter normally serves between 3 to 10 years. That is what is on the books for somebody that is charged with manslaughter. So this man was sentenced to 12 years in prison. So has he beaten the system, or has the system failed? I'm joined this evening again by Richie as we just have a small discussion on this topic. So Richie, welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you. So I'm asking this evening, you have been following this case with Walker that killed the American citizen, and he has now been sentenced to 12 years in prison. And I'm asking the question, did he beat the system, or has the system failed?
The system has failed because based on what we are looking at now, the laws that are on the books has not changed from in the earlier days in the initial drafting of the laws. If you notice now, you have certain crimes that people commit and they are charged like $100
or
a dollar, like the man at Port Royal and like
the great Tesha Miller,
where they charge our bills for something. Now, what happened now is that I don't know if I should say that the law lords on the island are lazy, or it is a case where something is also there that we, the laymen, don't know about, where certain things are concerned in the law. Say, well, them can't just take you up on their head to do it because in terms of them not being, independent of England. Yeah. So.
Hold on, Richard, hold on. It's not the law lords, It's the politicians. It's the politicians. Because sometimes we are here and we see some sentences and we are cuss the judge. And I say, what can I hear that judge that and what did the judge do? But the judge has to be working with the sentencing guidelines.
Yes.
So if the sentencing guideline says a person can serve 3 to 10 months, 3 to 10 years the manslaughter, with the starting point generally being 5 years, he has to work with that.
Yes. That is why a lot of times people might even look at the case presently with the gang trial and I say, well, why judge I do all of them something here? And if you just send them away and done, and he look, but they're not understanding that if he does not listen to everything that
then
is
the
there,
defense is going to...
right, and there is room for an appeal, because then you will hear things like the judge erred. on this summation, or the judge did this, because if the judge now sentenced someone based on emotions and how the crime is set up and said 20 years for him, when in fact on the books it is really 8 years, then within 2 years now you see him gone back out there and them say, listen, the judge erred, and based on this and that and a whole heap of things, because
of what you realize nowadays, is that the criminals can afford the best lawyers.
Yes, and remember, say lawyers aren't governed with conscience but by cash.
Well, it's not governed with conscience,
because it is unfair to say.
It is unfair to say that, because some people say, yes, you're right, but then they swore out when they took that party, when they entered into that particular profession.
Right, because it's the same like a doctor who, no matter what, even if I want criminal come in a hospital, him just have to look after him. Him can't really make emotions come into play. If you say,
he can't make emotions come into place if I'm alone in the room.
Right, but at the same time, him have to save life first, and not think about nothing.
So the thing is, as I was saying earlier, it is not the law lords, but it's up to the politicians. Recently, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Security came out big and bold that, listen, things are going to change and people are going to be getting minimum 15 years for illegal possession of firearm.
Yeah, but if you look on it and realize politicians them do this, you remember how long it took for Brian Sykes to be appointed as Chief Justice, because I see a politician them wear Wally string after Zela McCalla left, which was her time to retire. It was one big stretch out thing, because them want to make sure say they have this person in a for them corner where them a dictate to them. Because I saw them work, but them come out and then behave like they're innocent. And it is just so hypocritical that if you get up and you say something about them, then you're victimized. People will look at you and say, well, you belong to that party, you say what them and say, I don't understand. So listen, no matter what, you're Jamaicans first. So no matter what happens, look at it one way if you say, listen, is this a case where me plan one day if I left that place, and if me not go left here or me can't left here, why me not fix here? Because yes, I may have talk. And it starts with just you, that person where you look upon and have control over. You don't have control over the next person beside you. Even though you have your picnic, you feel like you have control over them. You tell them what to do, but at the end of the day, you don't know what them are going to do when they go out the road. But you have control over yourself. So you start with you, each person. Just start with yourself and just say, you know what, me not in this. If you see somebody over there, so I do sitting. If they want to call you informer, report it. Yeah, but the fact still remains, though, is, yes, they might call me informer because I report it. And the man got a prison and come back in 2 years. That don't make no sense. And that is also so the next what we need to do as Jamaicans is come together in one voice and say, listen, it's not PMP and it's not JLP, but something needs to be done, because the laws of the land need to change. There's no way, because first of all, you killed somebody. Was it self-defense? No, it wasn't. It was not. The man was not killed in self-defense. So how you first of all change from murder to manslaughter? It's the same thing happened with Chantel White, where he must say he was provoked. So him change from he pleaded to a lesser charge, because me tell us that them lawyers are working now. The lawyers them are work. So if the lawyers are working, because every lawyer wants to make his name, and lawyers are working, the laws now need to change. For listen, when you kill somebody, manslaughter or murder, the punishment must fit the crime. Yeah, because if you look upon, a lot of people come and them will find fault with Paula Llewellyn. But you not understand, say, you have each of them law firm, when man pay big bucks to get off a case. Them the kind of money they don't pay in terms of other defense, the prosecution, Yeah, but it doesn't really matter how much money you get. If you have a job you must do your job. And you don't have that amount of lawyers either. Yeah, but if you're doing a job, regardless of what, you did not appear before you go in there. Do your job and do your job well. But again, their hands are tied. Because at the same time, people just... Because the police are congratulating themselves because of the fact that he was sentenced. They did their job and he was sentenced. But the sentence is where we have the problem. Yes, we're happy that he was sentenced. But the problem that we're having is the length of time that he's going to be serving for the life of somebody that he took, a family that he has destroyed. When you talk about, you remember even the whole time when them did talk about this particular DJ, say, anytime him go to prison, them did a plan for saying, for do music, and then any money will come off it in terms of royalties,
Was supposed to go to the victim's family.
Yeah. And you know, hear nothing more about it.
Because that's how we stay at Jamaica. We run off a mouth and we say something.
Yeah, because remember, say one time with the smoking act.
Yeah, man. Nobody no follow through.
Then they start to lock up people when then they're on road and smoke. And it was this big thing. Every day they on news, much somebody then lock up on roadside or wherever. All of a sudden that they fizzle out.
Because everything we do are just 9 days.
Right. So you find...
just 9 day wonder. So people are tired. We are tired. Every day we get up, people are dying here, there and everywhere. Every parish, blood does a flow. Blood does a flow. And yes, okay. And I see I see a murder being committed. First, me afraid to tell the police. Even if me find somebody who me can confide in her, the person is tried. And then no time the person is back on the road. How that makes sense?
Yeah, because something you have to wonder if you have to think
the person in a prison, in a cell, the person in cell phone can be able to communicate without a road and say, no, sir, the girls wants a bus for me. This is nonsense. This something needs to be done and done now.
Because you know, sir, even with all enough of them water we are carrying something you smuggle them in. Them man, they should have really, I don't know, just lose work, you know, them man, if you go to prison.
Yeah, man, if you're going to go join them, they're supposed to go and go join them. That's what I'm saying. But the laws have to be put in place, because if the laws are not put in place, then the judge has nothing to work with.
You know, because people...
So every day we'll get up and ball and say...
Judge just draw down some sentence
out
of hat, you know.
It is in the sentencing guidelines. That's what I'm looking at presently. The sentencing guidelines. It is there for every single crime that is committed on the island, and what the amount of time that each person is supposed to serve for a particular crime.
And for sure, your old man then lazy. You know, sister, they have all sentencing if you throw him board pan train line and turn over train, how much time you forget a prison and train never not run.
Yeah, because all right, before we're going to be cut coming off of this, but even murder. 15 years to life. 15 years. You kill my family member. And yet still, look what happened. But yet still, cartel get a long stretch. How? You just don't understand. Right. I don't know if something wrong or something right, but I'm just looking at it and say, it's something just not right.
So what show us to, you know, is that say, even though you see judge them in there, say, the politicians are still around the back.
Pulling the strings.
And say, listen to me, man. Send with a brother there.
Yeah, them are pulling strings. They are pulling the strings.
Because then decide who them must send with. When you look at some case like you one with Zeke's, how they have every detail. Everything down to everywhere. And other people, then can't even find a fingerprint. But yet still then could have find every little can have to cover it to make sure it's in a prison.
Oh boy, I tell you.
It and the thing about it, really and truly, people out there who don't need to stop glorify politicians on a certain level and to make them look as if they're untouchable or you know to say nothing about them.
And they want them everything after them.
Yeah, and them get up and decide. History too kind to politicians because then get up and then decide one name what.
So they name after each other. Yeah. They're friends.
And the opposition not argue either because the opposition have plans to do the same.
It was, me no know. It is.
Yo, this is just frustrating. And it is a shame for no say, well, listen, we're not anti-government. We're just anti-corruption and foolishness. Because if the government are governed in a right way, because remember, say at the end of the day, them are work for we, you know. We gave them a job, and yet still when they're in there now, them behave like how we are work with them. Because all of a sudden now, they must say, who said that about me? You work for me.
Or you go to the office to speak to him and him don't have time to speak to him.
And you work for me. And me can't come hear my gross about something. Me can't talk about something and me give you a job. Where you ever hear that? Where you work right now, you think say, you can't ever go look upon your boss and say, listen, me don't have no time for you. Don't come around here so now. You're mad. So really and truly, we need to show them so we have a power. The water man them show them what they are now. You show you all away now. So listen to me, you
mean the water benders?
Yeah, man, and turn you off.
The water benders and then what?
Yeah, man, and then you have the earth benders, the fire benders. And the whole of them got the avatar and they couldn't do nothing.
I tell you, guys, this if we don't try and wrap it up, we're going to be here for a very long time. But things need something needs to be done. And drastically. Something needs to be done. So guys, let us just have to try and wrap it up right now. But remember to leave your comment. But something needs to be done. There's no way in heavens somebody can take a life and all that you're going to service 12 years. Maybe we need to go back to the Old Testament, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But guess what? Tell me what you think. Enough love, blessings, respect. And remember, keep safe. Jah guide. Your girl MJ.